Hi Taurus, I hope that you're all doing well. We're here with your reading, what you need to know for October. So any important themes, any important information will be coming through in the reading. Anything you need to know. The first card that we have out is Eight of Swords. When we start off with Eight of Swords, it can be a feeling that there may be something that we want to approach, something that we want to fix, something that we want to do. Eight of Swords can feel like we don't really know what to do or feel like we can't for some reason. It can be a bit of a block that we experience. It can also feel concerned about something or worried about something. There can be themes of that going on within the energy. We'll see what this is relating to. You're gonna have a breakthrough with, this feels like maybe something that you'd been worrying about or something that you could have felt like, when is this going to happen? We have an Ace of Swords. That's amazing to see. Your throat chakra can be involved in it. Ace of Swords is a really beautiful thing to see because over here, this is kind of like no move to make. That can be the feeling of there's nowhere to move, there's nowhere to go, and I feel like I need to, but you can feel really stuck. Having this Ace of Swords means that you're being broken out of that, which is such a fantastic thing to see. This can just be a breakthrough too with something that you were nervous about or worried about, unsure about. You know what this is actually bringing to mind? When I was shuffling before we started the reading, I was seeing the moon and I was seeing the Nine of Wands, and what this means is that there can be some unconscious defenses or walls that you're coming to realize, but what this can also mean on top of that is that there can be something unknown that you're exploring, and that can be something that feels extremely challenging to be going into some type of unknown territory that can be part of this. So we start with a feeling of being stuck. Ace of Swords is that broken out of that completely. Kind of like a little cube that you're in and then being broken out of it. So you're not in that box anymore, or you're not in that state of thinking anymore. Not feeling stuck anymore with that Ace of Swords. There's definitely something difficult going on, because I'm seeing something that there is a lot of effort being put in, and Seven of Swords feels like what's going on with you mentally that can sort of be attempting to, it's like push back your progress or push back your work, something like that. I'm seeing you fighting your way through simultaneously. This feels like there's an undercut sort of mentally that's happening, where you can be like, I'm here and I'm showing up and I'm doing what I need to do. Seven of Swords is basically having to work with your mind, especially when it's going to a dark place. So this feels like an extreme battle that is happening, where you're pushing the energy one way, and then what's going on sort of in the waves potentially pushing you backwards, and there being that, what's going to happen? Are you going to go this way? Is it going to knock you back? It feels like that type of thing that goes on. If you had been feeling before like, the word servitude is coming through. If you had been feeling before like the color was drained from something, I'm seeing it come back in. If you had been feeling like I can't catch a break, you end up catching a break. If you had been feeling like just exhausted or uninspired, or I want to take a step back from engaging, it gets turned upside down. So you end up like, you want to be here, you want to engage, the color seeps back into things, you have the energy again. It's one of those times where it feels like things turn back on. It could have felt like there was a draining that was happening, and then I'm seeing everything fill back up. And that's what this breakthrough is that you're having, of something that you've been working through. And I'm seeing like really, really tireless effort on your end, and also having to deal with stuff mentally while you're going through this. Because you know, when you're being challenged, it's like all of those shadow thoughts start coming up, sort of trying to get you to go back and to not make progress, like that type of thing. And so anything that would like sabotage what it is that you're doing, anything that would convince you to stop or to turn around, having to work with that part of the energy, no matter which form it comes in, whether it be how we perceive other people, how we're perceiving our own thoughts, whatever it is, it's something that is sort of like on that mental wave that I'm seeing be a part of what you're doing. The breakthrough is going to be with this. So if you had been feeling like something was sort of like beating you down or really pushing you really hard in a direction that you didn't want to go into, this feels like all of this accumulation of strength happens, and then you just push forward with what you've been trying to do. Yeah, this looks too like the energy that you'd been experiencing, that you're having a breakthrough now, so it's going to change now. But the energy in the month of October, the energy that you had been dealing with, I think something had been going on that you could have felt deterred by, something going on that you could have felt like not pleased with. It definitely could have been disappointing, is the feeling that I get from this. And so you could have also been feeling like that's why the energy was sort of draining. But now that I'm seeing the breakthrough happen, everything comes back online, and so there's no longer that draining that happens anymore. And this means too that this thing that you've been going through, where you could have been just struggling with what was going on, the breakthrough is about that too. So you're breaking out of that as well. But you could have been feeling really discouraged, and you could have also been feeling like you didn't want to engage just because of how much energy was being exerted. And you could have even gotten to a place where you're like, I don't know how much I have left, and I don't even know what I can do here. And that feeling upsetting, like I almost feel like this was a situation where you just had to deal with what was going on, and you couldn't really change it or do anything about it. You just had to like be coming to terms with what was happening. And just the exhausting process of that. And now I'm seeing things turning around. The Ten of Cups is here. So you go from Five of Cups to Ten of Cups, which is a huge shift energetically. I'm also seeing you too this feels like you have been right now working through things that are blocking you from, it can be blocking you from your joy, blocking you from a sense of connection, blocking you from like thriving in the way that you want to, can even be about a feeling that you want to have. This is like all of the efforts that you've been putting in to pursue what's important to you and to do it from a heart space. And you could have felt like the energy was pushing you back and back and back, and all you could do was just show up and have to do your thing. But you could have felt like the energy was just constantly there. Every time you try to take a step forward, it was like pushing you back. That's the energy that I get with this. And now everything is shifting, is what I'm seeing. It's like being at the end of things now. It's even like your senses too coming back online, because you were having to deal with everything that was going on. And even this like defensive mode that felt like it took for you to be in. And now it just feels like this flooding connection coming back online. Which does feel like the normal state of things for you. It looks like something wonky that was going on within a relationship even. Good challenge that was associated with that. Something even that felt like it wasn't working the way that it was supposed to. Things could have felt like they were falling apart. This does look like it's focused on a relationship for most of you. A partnership of some sort. Immense effort. Things feeling like there was this disintegration happening. That could have been what you were feeling like what is there to do with that? What is there to do about that? Because having Eight of Swords be connected with the Lovers, but the Lovers kind of coming out reversed here, can feel like you're seeing something happen and you're seeing this relationship deteriorate and fall apart. But Eight of Swords can be this feeling of, what can I do? That's how I'm seeing the Eight of Swords. Kind of like this thing is happening and I'm seeing what's going on, and I almost feel like I'm stuck here and I'm forced to just watch what's happening, and you almost can't, like there's not a move to make within that. Could have been the feeling. And this also could have been something that sort of stunned you into just standing there and watching what was happening. Regardless of how this was, I feel like for all of you, this theme had to do with something that you were watching, almost like I can't look away from this thing that's going on, but it's also just really hard to look at simultaneously, and feeling like you're kind of, even though this looks like something that you're involved in, like I'm sure that you're the other person that's involved in this, it feels like there's like you almost, we're watching it from the outside looking in, is the feeling that I get from this. And I wondered too if there was this feeling of being like powerless almost. It's this force of energy that I'm seeing that before it could have felt like you maybe had no other choice than to bend the knee to this energy. But then what I'm seeing is you coming back full force to face this. That's what I'm seeing. But what I'm getting was going on before is that when this was happening, you could have been sort of like a shell shock from the energy of this even occurring in the first place, of what was going on. Do you know actually what this is reminding me of, like bringing me back to? I remember that last month, and I think this is the only monthly reading that I remember from last month out of all the zodiacs. For you, Taurus, I remember Seven of Swords being within the reading. And so there can be themes of betrayal, themes of self-sabotage, and there can also be themes of you having to work with your own Seven of Swords, which is the part of you that can unknowingly be breaking things down within your life, but from a place of not being aware of those parts of yourself. So it can feel in a way like this blindsided energy. So whether this Seven of Swords, you see this as being the other person, or you see the Seven of Swords as being you, ultimately this comes back to you can sort of let the shadow overtake you here, and it could have felt like that's just, you almost had no other choice, like you had no fight left in you. But now that I'm seeing your energy come back online, it feels like you're ready to face this energy and do what needs to be done and make things right here within this. Because having this Ace of Swords means that there's a breakthrough happening, and I'm seeing Ten of Cups be connected with it, and this is going to feel like a very happy thing that ends up going on, but you've been trying to work with accepting what's been happening this whole time. But now the Wheel of Fortune is here, and you are going to get a great benefit. This means that the support that you didn't have before, now the support arrives. It means like there's a cushion behind you. So even if you fall backwards a little bit, there's something there to bounce back from. Like it's no more you versus everything else. I'm seeing there be like a whole pushback behind you. It's like everything that wasn't there before where you needed support ends up being there. And I feel like this boosts your morale to work through this and to move forward. And then there's that finally this push back in the direction that you want to be going in. And so finally that progress is made and that threshold is moved through. So this energy isn't pushing you back anymore. This is like you coming through with your energy, and it's like an arm wrestling has been going on this whole time, and you could have felt like you were on the brink of like losing the arm wrestle energetically, and now it's like all of the force comes back and you end up winning. And it feels almost like a last moment type of thing, like all the energy just comes back. It's like your battery goes back to 100, and it's just a really quick, like things flip is what I'm seeing end up happening with the energy. But you could have felt like you were on the brink of like losing a battle or something like that, and then I'm seeing the energy shift. So that's what ends up happening in the month of October for you. There can definitely be some type of betrayal that was in this, and it could have been I wonder if ultimately, like maybe this was about self-betrayal, but for some of you, there could have been something going on with somebody that you like should have been able to trust this person, and something happened that could have felt like a force that was supposed to be working with you, like in a partnership, ended up working against you. But keep in mind too that this also has to do with your own mentality and how you could have felt like you were going to let an opposing force even within you, knock you back, and something would have thrived, but then you come through and you end up winning the energetic arm wrestle here. And I'm definitely seeing Jupiter be part of this. I'm also seeing Gemini here as well. In an interpersonal way, you could have felt thrown off by this happening too, because if having the Lovers here reversed means that there are complications that are being worked through. Having the Lovers reversed shows that there are issues that have to be addressed, that there are problems, that things that are supposed to be working in tandem and working together with one another are not, and then having to come to terms with what's going on and then show up as it's necessary. And before, you could have felt like no matter how much you were showing up, things just weren't going your way. And what you're going to find is things go your way. Like, this is going to be a really amazing thing that happens for you, Taurus. I do feel like there is a huge boost of energy that you get, of morale even, and it helps you work against what it feels like some type of like force that was working against you. You then are able to thrash it in some way. I'm hearing that this is cosmically important. I don't know what exactly that means, but that phrase is coming through. Yeah, so good news for you. This breakthrough will be a very, very happy one because it's connected with the 10 of Cups for you. And this is lasting. This isn't just a little thing where you're like, this is a big thing. This is going to be a big deal for you. It will be very important. Especially given everything that you've been going through, because I'm seeing there's a lot that you've been going through, and it could have felt very, very difficult to soldier on. So seeing this thing happen is going to feel like finally there's a break into the new energy, and it will be something that you feel like is very supportive of you. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love. Something else that I'm seeing here, for some of you, there could have been, it looks like something was exposed for some of you. So that can mean that if this had to do with somebody around you and something was exposed, this can mean that this is like a weeding out because this person or certain people were not meant to be around you any longer. And this helped sort of separate what needed to be separated. Even though that could have been very difficult and you're still like coming to terms with it, that can be part of this too. Energies that are no longer in a vibrational match that needed to be weeded out, essentially. All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I want to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.